Chairman, can we start? Honorable Minister is already logged in, so if we have the permissions from the chair, I think sufficient. Our members have also already joined.
Yes, please join. Please start.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of ESE, let me welcome all of you for this session. As a part of ESE's global outreach program to assist its electronics and IT member exporters, we have organized over 100 virtual sessions and business meets so far. In this series, we are happy to bring today an exclusive session by SIDBI Venture, and India Exim Bank on financing schemes for our MSME exporters, particularly Ubharte Sitare Fund. We are indeed fortunate to have amongst us Ms. Pankaj Chaudhary, Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Government of India, who has very kindly agreed to grace today's session by his presence. Very warm welcome to you, sir. We are also joined by a galaxy of speakers from different institutions engaged in providing funding support to MSMEs exporters. We have among us Mr. Amit Paul, Vice President, SIDBI Venture Capital, Ms. Meghna Joglekar, General Manager, India Exim Bank, and Mr. Satish Nima, Assistant General Manager, SIDBI. Before I hand over to our chairman, Mr. Sandeep Narula, for a formal welcome, let me briefly mention that Ms. Joglekar heads the Sustainable Enterprise and Export Development Group of India Exim Bank. She has handled diverse operations, including lines of credit, corporate banking, trade finance, project finance, SME, and agri financing. And Ms. Joglekar has also headed the bank's overseas offices at Singapore and Yangon. Mr. Amit Paul is the Vice President of SIDBI Venture Capital Limited. He carries more than 28 years of experience serving various institutions, and he's an important member of SIDBI Venture team that will be managing the Ubharte Sitare Fund. Mr. Satish Nima is Assistant General Manager of SIDBI, the bellwether institution of MSMEs. He heads the Delhi office of SIDBI and will be the go-to man for those of us based in and around Delhi. With these words, I would now request our chairman, Mr. Sandeep Narula, to formally welcome all the guests and delegates and carry the meeting further. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gurmeet. We have with us today Shri Pankaj Chaudhary, Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Government of India, Ms. Meghna Joglekar, General Manager, Exim Bank, Mr. Amit Paul, Vice President, SIDBI Venture Capital Limited, Mr. Satish Nima, AGM SIDBI, Mr. V. Sagar, Vice Chairman, ESC, senior officials of SIDBI, Exim Bank, and SIDBI Venture, my fellow members from the council and the industry, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to all of you. Namaskar. It gives me great pleasure welcoming you all to today's special session on Ubharte Sitare, SIDBI Venture and Exim Bank. मैंने जब इस प्रोग्राम को हमने डिस्कशन किया इनिशियली और मैं मंत्री जी के पास के बावजूद इस प्रोग्रेस के लिए हमारे लिए उपयोगिता को समझते हुए इस प्रोग्राम में हमें सम्मिलित होने के लिए अपनी कंसेंट दी, हमें उत्साह प्रदान किया। मैं इसके लिए आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं मंत्री जी, आपका अभिनंदन करता हूं, आपका स्वागत करता हूं। आपकी आज यहाँ पर उपस्थिति हमारे सभी के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी एनकरेजमेंट है और मैं ऐसी आशा करता हूं कि हमें समय समय पे आपकी ये सपोर्ट और एनकरेजमेंट मिलती रहेगी और हम अपनी इंडस्ट्री को आगे बढ़ाने में सफल होंगे। Special word of welcome also to Ms. Meghna Joglekar and Mr. Amit Paul and Mr. Satish Nima, who have devoted their time for the cause of the industry. Sir, as you are aware that the economy had to undergo a major jerk because of COVID pandemic. And now when we have started realizing that the economy is onto the path to recovery, the small and medium enterprises are rearing to unleash the growth that they have. And all they need to have is a supportive environment and a helping hand to stand up once again. Realizing this, the government of India, in fact, I would like to compliment the union government for a series of innovative measures taken to ensure the availability of liquidity for the industry. And especially this Ubharte Sitare Fund, which will go a long way in establishing the export business for the emerging companies. Focus on developing on Atmanirbhar Bharat will bring long-term result for the economy and the nation as a whole. Friends, as you know, we have assembled today to know more about Ubharte Sitare Fund of SIDBI Venture. The fund has been launched specifically to finance potential champion exporters. The very fact that Exim Bank is part of this fund signifies the importance that is being given to the export sector because of this fund. And of course, the presence of senior officials from the three organizations, SIDBI, SIDBI Venture, and Exim Bank, indeed a privilege to all of us. I must mention that a large section of entrepreneurs in the country, for them, SIDBI has proven to be the lifelong for the long term, for the long time. In fact, story of SIDBI coincides with the story of economic reforms and in turn the story of transformation of the Indian economy. At a time when all other development financial institutions were gradually going out, SIDBI emerged as the scene and has since been providing crucial support to the MSME throughout the country. SIDBI Venture Capital came into being in 1999 and has since been managing funds with focus on innovation-based business models and scalable businesses. Jointly with Exim, SIDBI Venture have now come up with the Ubharte Sitare Fund. My heartiest compliments to the two organizations on the initiative, special compliments for adopting a highly scalable program to start with 500 crore that they have allocated as of now. For the benefit of Honorable Minister as well as our guest speakers, let me mention that the member of the ESC represent a community of the entrepreneurs oriented towards futuristic technologies and have the potential to become big-time exporters in the years to come. Sir, our membership largely comprises of small and medium-sized units from the electronics and the software sector. And it is a matter of pride for us that our members are exporting their products and solutions to all of the countries in the world. And especially if I talk about the software sector, we are known as the world capital of the software industry, with about $150 billion of export of the software from the country and about $12 billion of electronic hardware export. We are right on the path of success as far as the new technologies are concerned. Before I end, a few words about our organization. ESC is India's premier export promotion organization, serving electronic and software sector. And since 1986, established originally only as the Export Promotion Council, has about 2,000 plus members. I would not take much of the time since we have very short time from the Honorable Minister also. And इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं आपका पुनः अभिनंदन करता हूं, आशा करता हूं कि आज का कार्यक्रम उभरते सितारे हमारे व्यापार की उन्नति और देश की उन्नति और विकास के लिए अहम भूमिका प्रदान करेगा। साथ ही प्रधानमंत्री श्री मोदी जी के 5 ट्रिलियन की भारत की जीडीपी के लक्ष्य को हासिल करने में अपना योगदान देगा। मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूं। धन्यवाद। Now I would request Honorable Minister, who has a very short time with us because of his busy schedule. Honorable Minister, may I invite you to share your views on this program.
धन्यवाद। कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित श्री एसपी सिंह, सीईओ सिडबी वेंचर कैपिटल लिमिटेड, श्री संदीप नरूला, अध्यक्ष ईएससी सिडबी और एक्सिम बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के प्रतिनिधि, उपस्थित इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एवं सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी उद्योगों के प्रतिनिधिगण, आज आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक एवं आईटी निर्माताओं के बीच आकर मुझे प्रसन्नता हो रही है। ये बहुत संतोष की बात है कि मेरे मंत्रालय के विकास संस्थान ईएससी आदि उद्योग निकायों के साथ मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं। लोगों को, खासकर एमएसएमई उद्योगों को मजबूती और उत्कृष्टता हासिल करने के लिए हर संभव मदद देने के लिए हमारी सरकार ने संकल्प लिया है। उद्यमियों को फंडिंग से संबंधित सहायता प्रदान करने के लिए सरकार द्वारा उठाए जा रहे विभिन्न कदमों से उद्यमियों को अवगत कराना प्रशंसा के काबिल है। इस पहल के लिए ईएससी सिडबी, एक्सिम बैंक और सिडबी वेंचर को मेरी बधाई। हम सभी जानते हैं कि पिछले 1.5 साल से अर्थव्यवस्था को एक कठिन दौर से गुजरना पड़ा। शुक्र है कि मोदी सरकार के प्रयासों से निश्चित रूप से अर्थव्यवस्था उस चक्र से बाहर आ रही है जो कि राजस्व के बेहतर संग्रह में भी परिलक्षित होता है। अक्टूबर महीने के दौरान जीएसटी संग्रह ने पिछले सभी रिकॉर्ड को पार किया, जबकि निर्यात 35.5 अरब अमेरिकी डॉलर के रिकॉर्ड स्तर पर पहुंच गया। मुझे विश्वास है कि हम शीघ्र ही तीव्रता से विकास पथ पर वापस आ पाएंगे। हमारी सरकार की प्राथमिकताओं में से एक उद्यमियों को बढ़ावा देना है। हम चाहते हैं कि अधिक से अधिक युवा उद्यमी कैरियर अपनाएं ताकि वे नौकरी चाहने वालों के बजाय नौकरी देने वाले बन सकें। इसी उद्देश्य को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमने उद्यमियों की मदद करने का उद्देश्य से कई पहल की है। टेक्नोलॉजी और प्रगति ने कई उद्यमों में फलने फूलने में मदद की है। सॉफ्टवेयर सक्षम समाधान, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक उपकरणों को बढ़ते उपयोग ने शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य सेवा, ई कॉमर्स और प्रशासन जैसे क्षेत्रों में बड़ी संख्या में नए उद्यमों की शुरुआत की है। मित्रों, हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर उद्योग पहले से ही बहुत अच्छी तरह से स्थापित है और पूरी दुनिया में उचित मान्यता प्राप्त है। हमारी सरकार इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स क्षेत्र को भी उसी ऊंचाई पर ले जाना चाहती है। मैं आपको आश्वस्त कर सकता हूं कि भारत उद्योग को सभी आवश्यक सहायता प्रदान करने के लिए कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ेगी। साथ ही साथ ये सुनिश्चित करेगी कि छोटी छोटी बाधाओं के कारण उद्यमियों के प्रयास विफल ना हो। मैं एक बार फिर सिडबी चैम्बर वेंचर कैपिटल लिमिटेड और एक्सिम बैंक को बधाई देता हूं कि उन्होंने इस फंड उभरते सितारे के साथ निर्यात चैंपियन बनने की इच्छुक एमएसएमई इकाइयों को महत्वपूर्ण वित्तीय सहायता प्रदान की। मुझे यकीन है कि उभरते सितारे फंड निर्यात के क्षितिज पर नए सितारों के उदय को देखेगा। सिडबी निश्चित रूप से एक अम्ब्रेला संस्थान है जो देश में एमएसएमई के लिए बढ़िया काम कर रहा है। उन्हें भी मेरी ओर से बधाई। इसी तरह ईएससी भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और सॉफ्टवेयर उद्योग के विशेष रूप से एमएसएमई के हितों का प्रतिनिधित्व करने के लिए एक मजबूत और विश्वसनीय मंच के रूप में उभरा है। उन्होंने न केवल अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजारों में एमएसएमई के प्रवेश की सुविधा प्रदान की, बल्कि वे उभरते उद्यमियों को हैंड होल्डिंग सेवाएं भी प्रदान कर रहे हैं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं आप सभी को एक बार फिर बधाई देता हूं और कामना करता हूं कि आपके वेंचर में सफलता मिले। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मंत्री जी आपका। आपने हमें उत्साह और एक नई दिशा दिखाई। मैं समझ पा रहा हूं कि आपका कार्यक्रम व्यस्त है और आप शायद इस कार्यक्रम के बाद दूसरे कार्यक्रम में जाने वाले हैं। इसलिए मैं विशेष रूप से हमारे चेयरमैन श्री वीर सागर जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि आपके लिए एक धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव दें।
मुख्य अतिथि राज्य वित्त मंत्री श्री पंकज चौधरी जी, हम लोग आपके बहुत आभारी हैं कि आपने इतने मसरूफी होने के बावजूद हमारे लिए 15 मिनट निकाले और हमसे आके बात करें और हमें उत्साह दिया। आपको याद होगा कि 40 साल पहले छोटी छोटी कंपनियों ने राइट सॉफ्टवेयर स्टार्ट करी थी, जिसके सरकार की मदद से टैक्स इंसेंटिव्स की वजह से वो आज बढ़कर इतनी बड़ी हो गई हैं कि और हमारे देश का नाम रोशन करी है। अब वही टाइम आ गया है हम लोगों को इसको रिपीट करने के लिए। उससे हमारे कंपनी इंडिया कंट्री का नाम बहुत बड़ा हुआ था। अब हमें वो टाइम आ गया है, ये इसी तरह रिपीट करेंगे, लेकिन इस टाइम सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विसेज के साथ। छोटी छोटी कंपनियां, एमएसएमई कंपनियों को आपका हाथ चाहिए, आपका सपोर्ट चाहिए कि वो फिर बड़े हो और इस टाइम बजाय इंडिया में ये खुशहाली लाएंगे और नौकरी लाएंगे। सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विसेज का बहुत जबरदस्त पोटेंशियल है अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट को सॉल्व करने का। और मंत्री जी, हम आपके साथ ये आशा रखते हैं कि जिस तरह आपने आज आकर के हमें उत्साह दिया है, हमें आश्वासन दिया है कि आपकी सपोर्ट है, इसी तरह आप हम लोगों को आगे देते रहेंगे। मुझे पता है आप बहुत बिजी हैं, इसलिए थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हम आपका फिर से शुक्रिया करते हैं। थैंक यू।
धन्यवाद सबको, एक बार तो पुनः धन्यवाद।
जी, धन्यवाद। मैं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए अब अनुरोध करूंगा मिस्टर सतीश नीमा, असिस्टेंट जनरल मैनेजर सिडबी, टू मेक हिज प्रेजेंटेशन।
Thank you, Sandeep ji. Thank you for providing us this opportunity to present a few details about our products. So I have a small presentation, if I can share it on the screen.
Yeah, please.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so how much time can I take, sir? Maybe say.
We intend to end by 4 p.m. So Miss Meghna Joglekar is there, and then Mr. Amit Paul is there. So you can take your time. I mean, the objective is to make members aware. So you take your time. It's fine.
Okay, so I'll go in brief actually. We have so many products. Straight away I'm coming to the products being offered by SIDBI currently, which are very popular. These all products are actually supported by Government of India initiatives or the RBI initiatives, and very recent product is named as Arise. So this is a product wherein we are financing the existing units at concessional rates starting at around 5.5% per annum. So this is the rate which is actually daily reducing balance rate. It is not about flat rate or something. 5.5% per annum starting rate goes up to something around 6.7%. This is for existing units who are operating, having 3 years balance sheet, and the repayment tenor available under this scheme is about 7 years. This can go up to 10 years on need basis, up to a loan of say 3 crores. There is another sub scheme under this wherein we are financing 100% of the machines, 100% cost of the machines, and at this rate. But the maximum assistance under this scheme is generally 5 crore, which can extend up to 7 crore. Again, sector-based approach is there, and majority of sectors are covered. You can see electronic systems is covered. So the industries operating in this sector are covered for this scheme. So this was for existing units which are already operating. Now, what's there for new units which are coming up? So government has again supported us with a fund, and we have created a separate scheme for those units. We call them greenfield units. That scheme is named as Sthapan. So to start a new unit, this is the fund available. Again, at lower than market rates. Generally, you are aware that the housing loan rates are hovering at around 6.5% to 7%. And we are offering rates under this scheme, Sthapan, which is for greenfield units, at around 6% to say 7.3%. So it is very, very lucrative. It is available for greenfield units in specific sectors. Majority of sectors are covered. Interest rates, I have already told you. Repayment period, these units being greenfield, we are offering 7 years to 10 years again. An amount of loan can be 15 crore, but need basis, this can go up to 20 crore. And this assistance can be availed for all components of the project, which may include the purchase of plot of land, civil construction, and purchase of plant and machinery, then miscellaneous fixed assets. Almost everything is covered. So this is the scheme, again supported by RBI fund. Another scheme which is an old scheme supported by Government of India. This is known as SMILE. This is for Make in India sectors. Some 25 sectors are there. And so under these sectors, whosoever is operating, those can avail this assistance. Minimum loan size we offer under this scheme is 25 lakhs, and we fund up to 75% of the project cost. The best part under this scheme is a soft loan is also available, which is over and above the 75%. So say up to 10% of the project cost can be a soft loan. So effectively, the promoter contribution can be 15%. That is minimum contribution under this scheme. Tenor again, generally 7 years, and interest rate 6.5% to 8%. For smaller loans, we may take CGTMSE cover also. And for all kind of SIDBI assistances, the CIBIL and other criteria apply. So this is another scheme. For existing customers, we offer working capital limits. So again, for now, I'll skip this because this is again a general product we are offering. Interest rates are now at the market rate, generally 7.5% to 9.1%. And we offer working capital only with the composite term loans. So basically, because working capital is not our primary thing, we are basically a term lender. So wherever we are offering term loan, we can offer working capital. Now there are few products available in the market being offered by the NBFCs. They generally sanction loans in say 5 days period or 7 days period for machines.
OTP मिल गया आपको? OTP मिल गया?
सर नहीं सर, वो ओटीपी तो कोई बात नहीं, बट पहले वाला भी अपलोड किया, वो अभी पेंडिंग आ रहा है, इसलिए बार बार अपलोड किए जा रहे हैं।
तो उसको एक्नॉलेजमेंट चाहिए, उनको कैसे मिलेगा फिर?
सर इसलिए बार अपलोड करने के लिए, तभी वो ऑफलाइन दिया था बना के, क्योंकि ऑनलाइन चल नहीं रहा था, कहीं भी नहीं मांग रहे बैंक में। मैं से बोल रही हूँ कि कहीं भी नहीं चल रहा अभी।
Okay. So for NBFCs have been offering this machine loans specifically, which is generally sanctioned in 3 to 4 days time, and it is disbursed say 7 days in 7 days time. We are there in this market also for last 2 years, and this scheme has been very, very successful. We have done tie-ups with the suppliers of machines, the reputed ones, and for others also we have scheme. So simple scheme, whatever be the cost of the machine, we can fund 100% of it. And generally people face issue of collaterals here. So what we do, in a typical project, if a project is worth ₹1 crore, bank funds 75% and 25% is invested by the entrepreneur. So in this scheme, what we do, we fund 100%. And that 25% which was supposed to be invested, that is kept as a collateral security as fixed deposit with SIDBI. So effectively, our requirement for collateral also gets complied with that. So this again, this may vary with the case in minor, say 5-10% here or there. So this takes care of the collateral requirement, this takes care of the funding requirement, and the best part is, since we are having fixed deposits with us, we generally offer a little bit lesser interest rate on these products. So currently it is about 7.75%, but I mean, since that fund arise and the Sthapan scheme is there, all speed loans as of now are being offered the arise interest rate of 5.5% to 6.7%. So currently that fund is available. All proposals under Speed, Speed Plus, and Pratham, these are being covered under that scheme in terms of interest rate. So there is not much of difference in Speed, Speed Plus, and Pratham. You leave it to us to decide where it fits. Speed is for the suppliers with whom we have this tie-up. Speed Plus, a bit of higher loan, and Pratham is for those suppliers with whom we don't have any tie-up. So this is the scheme pattern here. Machine funding only. Other existing schemes, we have a scheme for solar rooftop panels. We have a scheme for units operating in the manufacturing of oxygen concentrators or related to the oxygen generators, or maybe units which are helping in fighting corona in terms of medical drugs or medical supplies. We have been offering this special interest rate 4.5% to 6% under these two schemes, SOAS and ARO. This was specially designed for COVID-19 situation. So anyone operating in this sector can come to us and they can get 100% of the cost of the project as financed. Maximum loan under this scheme will be 2 crores only. Best part is there is no processing fee under these two schemes, and there are no pre-closure charges. So this is a summary of what SIDBI has been offering very recently. I hope I have not taken much of the time, and if any clarification is required on these things, please do let me know here or maybe over phone or over mail. We'll be happy to clarify. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Satish. I think the presentation was very clear to the point and well taken by the members. In case there are some queries, we can have those queries on the chat box or contact you subsequently. Now, may I request Ms. Meghna Joglekar, General Manager, Exim Bank, to share her views and presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible? I thought I just saw some message saying not audible or something. Am I audible to
Very, yeah, absolutely audible.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I mean, once again, good afternoon, everybody. And on behalf of Export-Import Bank of India, it's a pleasure and honor to be here today. So I would really like to thank Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council to, arrange this sort of an event, especially for dissemination of the Ubharte Sitare program and the Ubharte Sitare fund. I think it's very important that this program reaches out to the right sector as well as the right sort of an audience. So I'm very glad. So what I'm going to do, I think I have 10 minutes as per the schedule, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just give a brief background about the Ubharte Sitare program. And then, of course, Amit will cover the fund part of it, which is one of the pillars of the program. So I'll just request my colleague Mangesh to start the PPT. And as Satish also mentioned, I mean, if there are any questions, happy to take them during or later or in the chat box or whenever there is a Q&A session scheduled. Mangesh, can you put it in viewing mode, please? It is. Okay, thanks. No, there's some issue in terms of me scheduling, so I've requested my colleague. We can just go to the next. So very quickly, I mean, of course, a quick background. I hope all of you are aware about Export-Import Bank of India, but you know, it is like financial institutions like us and SIDBI. I mean, we are not like the commercial banks, so you know, we are present in every nook and corner of the city. So I think it is very important, sort of, to just speak two lines about Export-Import Bank of India. We were set up in 1981. We are, of course, wholly owned by the Government of India, and in fact, will be shortly completing our 40 years of operations. And just like any other Exim banks around the world, our primary role is to increase the country's international trade, you know, foreign trade, and basically help Indian companies go global. So I think with just that, I'll just quickly move on to the next. Mangesh, next, please. See, today's presentation, I really want to focus about the Ubharte Sitare program, but very, very quickly, I think, see, I just wanted to leave a message that today, if you are a company which is engaged into exports, I mean, technically can certainly reach out to us, and we can explore, you know, any way that we can support you in terms of financing options. But very quickly, the bank broadly has two main sort of business lines. One is what we call as the policy lending program, and second is what we call as the commercial lending program. Now, policy lending programs are those which we actually do on behalf of Government of India. So I'm sure Exim's name, everybody must have heard from our flagship programs, which are the lines of credit, where India extends bilateral assistance to various other countries around the world. And Exim implements these lines of credit to various nations. So we have several lines of credits which are extended to Africa, to Southeast Asia, to Latin American countries, and a lot of Indian project exporters. So a lot of, you know, mid to large scale project exports are happening out of the country, which Exim Bank is currently financing. So even whether it is buyer's credit or anything like that. Now, coming to export capability creation. So as I mentioned, any company which is engaged in exports, we can support. Now that support could be in the form of term loans, working capital, or for product development. Another of our flagship program is overseas investment finance. There, if an Indian company wants to set up a joint venture or a wholly owned subsidiary overseas, that is the kind of financing that Exim Bank does quite regularly. So I thought I'll just give a quick peek into our broad financing programs. Of course, if there are any specific queries, please feel free to reach out. Now we'll move on to the Ubharte Sitare next, please. I don't want to spend too much time. I thought I'll just give a quick background. Now, Ubharte Sitare program was launched by the Honorable Finance Minister in the budget of February 1st, 2020. And the SIDBI is our partner institution in this initiative. And after this, of course, the boards of Exim and SIDBI operated this. We'll move on to the next. I'll just quickly explain what. So this is, of course, the finance minister's exact announcement where she mentioned, you know, many mid-sized companies are successful domestically, but not in export markets. And for select sectors such as pharma, auto, and others, we are proposed to extend handholding support for technology upgradations, R&D, business strategy planning, etc. And the budget was a 1,000 crore scheme announcement where Exim and SIDBI will basically contribute 50 crores each, out of which 40 crores is towards the Ubharte Sitare fund. And balance 900 crores is in the form of debt. Now, I do not want any of the members really to get caught up in this 1,000 crore and what is the quantum of the scheme. Ideally, today, just try to understand what is this Ubharte Sitare program, what are its broad pillars of support, and where is it that you can reach out to us. I thought I'll just make a mention of this. Next, please. So what is actually Ubharte Sitare program? You know, under the Ubharte Sitare program, we are basically identifying Indian companies that are future champions with good export potential. Now, it is very, very important that, you know, the company that we are trying to consider under the Ubharte Sitare program should have some sort of a potential advantage, or let's say a unique value proposition, either in terms of its product or its process or its market, its technology, or any other differentiating criteria, because that is what is sort of going to make them leapfrog, or let's say scale up to sort of, when we say trying to scale up as very, very big programs. Now here the assistance under the Ubharte Sitare program rests on three pillars. That is debt, there is equity, and there is technical assistance. I'll explain this on my slide when I come to the pillars of the Ubharte Sitare program. Below is exactly what I mentioned about the 1,000 crore breakup of this scheme, but let us not go into it. I just don't want unnecessary confusions. As far as I think three pillars, you all should understand more clearly. So this program, of course, was started with the objective that, you know, as I mentioned, we want to identify and nurture companies with differentiated product, technology, or process. we certainly want to handhold, or there are some companies who have been in existence but have not been able to go to the next level. They have not been able to scale up because of lack of finance, or let's say lack of product innovation or R&D, and these are the sort of companies that we want to go out and support. And as I mentioned, the program wants to create international champions out of India. And eventually, the macro objectives in terms of the scheme is, of course, exports should happen, economic growth should happen, and of course, employment that comes along with it. Now, as I mentioned, the program sort of got launched in budget last year, and then COVID happened. And last year, I may say, has been a little bit of muted, and the program gained traction this year. And what we have done is, during this period, we have engaged in a massive outreach, just like today we are reaching out to you all. We have gone through various industry associations, through various academic institutions, and that is an ongoing exercise. I'm very glad that we are doing this particular event today, because it's very important for members to understand what this is and if they can stand to benefit or be associated with this program. Now, the value proposition, as I mentioned, Exim and SIDBI are partner institutions in this particular program. But at any point of time, we want to go along with your existing set of bankers. If you're a growing company, we want to come on top of that and value add and help the company grow, not really sort of replace. So it's sort of a cohesive sort of a program. Next, please. Now, the broad eligibility criteria, who are we trying, who is our target audience under the Ubharte Sitare program? So one is, of course, here we are predominantly looking at small and medium sized companies. Now, for Exim Bank, of course, we have kept a boundary condition of turnover of up to 500 crores. But I'll just today, when I go on to the next slide, we are covering companies from turnovers as small as 5 crores to turnovers up to, let's say, 400 crores. But if you look at the predominant subset, it is small and medium enterprises that we look at. I did mention about the unique value proposition, technology and product or process that the company should have. It should be a fundamentally strong company with acceptable financials. Now, the promoters of the good business model, it is something that, when we try to talk to companies, we get into trying to understand what is their product offering, how is it different, how are they going to scale up? And that is exactly what we meant in terms of eligibility criteria. Next, please. I just thought I'll explain. So the Ubharte Sitare program has 3 broad pillars. The first is, of course, the debt component. Now, debt here, I think all companies understand debt, and debt is debt can be extended by way of term loans. It can be extended by way of working capital facilities. It can be extended by way of non-funded facilities. Now, term loans today can be extended to companies, let's say, who, you all want to, carry out capacity expansion, you all want to import machinery, you all want to do R&D, you all want to do any new product development, or let's say you all want to go overseas in terms of your subsidiary, you all want to have some sort of a export marketing finance support. So term loans could be extended for various sort of purposes, which is going to help your export capabilities. Now, coming to working capital, for example, sometimes when I come to these sort of examples that we have financed under the Ubharte Sitare program, it will give you a brief idea of what I'm trying to say. Working capital can be extended, for example, if you have received a contract, let's say a large export contract or something like that, we can look at financing both by way of funded and non-funded facilities, that is by way of guarantees, or there could also be LCs for import of machinery and things like that. So broadly, there is working capital, there is non-funded, and there is funded. The second pillar of the program is, of course, equity. And while Exim can look at it, what predominant development under this is the Ubharte Sitare Fund, which is exactly why we are here today. And look forward to Amit's presentation, where he'll talk about the Ubharte Sitare Fund, where Exim Bank and SIDBI are the principal sponsors to the fund, and we have contributed 40 crores each. There'll be other members, banks also contributing to this fund. And then, Amit will talk about the equity, where this fund would be doing equity or equity-like instruments into Indian exporting companies. So the second pillar of support is equity, and there is a small component of technical assistance or a grant, which is sort of a very need-based support, I would say, where we are extending support. Let's say we have extended a finance, and there is a small grant component which could be considered on a case-to-case basis. Now, this grant could be for some sort of a consultancy assignment or for any particular certification, or let's say it's a company which is wants overseas buyers and they have received a contract. So while funding support has been extended, but they want to set up some sort of experience center or something for their foreign buyers to kind of come and have a look. So very, very need-based sort of grant assistance is there, where Exim and SIDBI have contributed 10 crores each. So I just thought today for the members, I'll leave this thought about the 3 pillars of the Ubharte Sitare program. Next, please. I'll now just quickly finish my presentation. I thought I'll just share a few examples of what, because I explained that, these are the broad offerings under the Ubharte Sitare program. But I think if we take examples, it will be very clear as to what sort of narrative we have looked in each of the company when we have financed them. So the first example, it's a very smallish phospholipids company, and this company came a lot into news because they supplied, their product for these mRNA vaccines to Pfizer and Moderna. And they were the only company out of India which was exporting this. So this is what made them unique in terms of their product offering. And the bank stepped up and gave them a capacity expansion for a very long tenor loan, because our support helped them to sort of gain major orders from large pharma companies. So that was the narrative there. The second example, as you can see, it's a drone. It's a defense drone company. And here, this is again a smallish company, but they received a very large order from Ministry of Defense. And of course, the contract order was much beyond their means, and Exim Bank stepped up and part financed that contract execution. And now, while I may make a mention that this was a domestic contract, it was sort of company beated international competition to secure this, and it was going with the import substitution theme. And here this contract execution is going to help the company pave way for its, getting international orders, and that is how we supported this particular company. The next one is again a company engaged in pharma sector, and it is very R&D intensive, and they could actually reduce their dependence on imports from China by doing R&D, and that is why we supported them with the research and development loan. Next, please. The first example is a very interesting IITians promoted company. It is they developed a very innovative product, something in agri-tech solutions, and they developed these solar cold rooms. And this could be actually fitted at the farmer's place directly and improves the rise of life of the perishable goods. I think agri wastage is a big concern, and they are trying today to expand their markets to the international solar alliance countries, and we are trying to help them with working capital assistance for their export orders. The next is another very interesting example where this company is actually into a waste management company. So basically, whatever is, we throw away our shampoo bottles and all the plastic that we generate, that becomes a raw material for this company, and they produce near virgin quality plastic granules, which are again recycled. And now they are selling to large MNCs. I would say a domestic oriented company, but because of Exim Bank's intervention, now they are started to look at neighboring countries such as Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. The next company is an auto component sector company, a fundamental technology company, and they make their own products and create markets for themselves. Very interesting case, and we have financed them with a research and development sort of a loan. Next. This one company is again into, I would say fans, and we all understand again BLDC motor technology. I would say a little step ahead in terms of very, very energy efficient fans. And Exim Bank, I hope our intervention is going to help them now look at international markets as well. The next is again a company which is in auto component sector, has a large market share in India for their products, and they are setting up a product line for exports completely, which we are financing. And the other one is again a new company developed a new technology for non-sparking hand tools, and they shifted from copper beryllium, which is more hazardous, to copper titanium. Now, the idea to give all these, now everywhere our assistance has been in the form of term loan or in terms of, capital, in terms of their capex or import requirement in one or two places, we have sort of part financed their particular contract. I just thought we'll give a flavor of these examples, to see how we have tried to look a particular narrative in all of these companies and what was unique in terms of their business value offerings. Now, before I close, I'll just make a mention. I mean, as far as the electronic sector goes, I think while India, in terms of advantages we have had in the automotive sector or in the pharmaceutical industry, and I think the council may correct me more, but we have sort of a deficit in the electronics sector. And perhaps, I don't know if there is too much of import dependence, and I'm sure that, things like PLI are going to help us go much way forward. So, today, whatever examples I gave, I wanted to say that, the program is sector agnostic. And the electronic sector is one sector we will certainly look at supporting under the Ubharte Sitare program. We'll be very happy to engage with your members who would want to reach out to us and see on a bilateral basis how is it that we can support in terms of debt, where of course Exim and SIDBI can join hands together and work in terms of the debt offerings. And the equity part, of course, there is the Ubharte Sitare Fund. So with that, I'll take a pause here now. Thank you very much. I think, I hope that was helpful. And please feel free to reach out us at, of course, our website is eximbankindia.in. But you can write to us at seed@eximbankindia.in, SEED. I'll just request my colleague to drop that email ID as well for if you all need to reach out to us on a bilateral basis. Thank you very much, Sandeep ji. I think I'm done.
No, thank you, Ms. Meghna. I think you gave a very good 360-degree view of the Ubharte Sitare scheme, and I think it was really useful. The attention was pulled by the presentation. I'm grateful that you had such a wonderful presentation. Now I would request Mr. Amit Paul, Vice President, SIDBI Venture Capital. I think his team is there to start the presentation. Mr. Amit Paul, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandeep ji. I'll just share my screen first. Yeah, is that visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you to the Electronics and Software Export Promotion Council for organizing this program at relatively short notice. We are very happy to be here presenting to your members and explaining to them about what this entire program is about. So as Satish ji and Meghna ji have already given a background of the overall program, that is the Ubharte Sitare program, I will limit myself to the equity part, that is the Ubharte Sitare fund part, which is an alternative investment fund and registered with SEBI as a category 2 fund. So this is the difference between the overall Ubharte Sitare program and its subset, which is the Ubharte Sitare fund, which is for the equity investment portion. I think this is a repeat. Meghna ji had already shared this, so I will straight away skip this. This is a single slide where we try to show the basically that the where India stands in global trade. It is at a very small percentage of about 2%. Even China is at 12.73, and the rest of the world is 1%. So while this may appear to paint a very subdued picture, but I think if you look at the other side, the scope is tremendous for exports to increase from our country. And for that, the software and the electronic sector has already been contributing, especially the software sector. So the electronic sector, I guess, has been importing more up to now. But I guess with all the incentives and the push being given by the government, that sector should also come up fast, and we shall be ready to partner. This is again a slide that we prepared for just to show what is the possibilities, and the Exim Bank has helped us in preparation of the slide. So these are some of the identified sectors, which I will come to, of course, in later slides. And their current exports, $266 billion. And if it continues as usual, they should reach 339 is the estimate by 2026. And in an optimistic scenario, which means about 15% growth, it should reach about 537 billion 2026, but which needs a lot of work, funding, and energy from the entrepreneurial community. This is basically, I think, would be of interest to us. And this gives the broad contours of the investment fund, the alternative investment fund, and what we plan to do. So the fund manager of the Ubharte Sitare Fund is SIDBI Venture Capital Limited, which is a subsidiary of SIDBI. The Ubharte Sitare Fund is supposed to have a target corpus of with a green shoe option of 250 crore, taking the total corpus to 500 crore. That's what we are targeting. of this, how will this 500 crore be, spent? That's the broad plan, is that the fund will be, investing in about 20 companies, average deal size of 25 crore. When it's an average deal size, every deal, of course, will not be 25. So we aim to look at maybe a minimum deal size of 15 crores of investment, going up to a maximum of 40 crore. This is the amounts can be invested in a single tranche or in multiple tranches or in various rounds. Co-investments could also be possible with other investors who might want to invest, just in case deal sizes from the fund size fall short and the company is in requirement of larger deal sizes. We could look at bringing in other co-investors to put in money. What could be the usage of the funds? It's pretty broad-based that way. For manufacturing companies, of course, capital equipment, etc. We can also look at acquisition financing or M&As by companies. If there's a company which wants to acquire another company to increase its size and reach in export markets, then that is something very welcome. Could look at technology upgradations, of course, product development, marketing and business development is, of course, very important for all companies nowadays, especially looking at the foreign markets, entry into foreign markets, and of course, working capital is part of it can be used for working capital. So it's pretty broad based, and we will basically look at the entire view of the management team of the company and how they want to take the company forward. And these are some of these preliminary views that we have on the usage of funds, but it all depends on what is the outlook going forward in the next 2-3 years of the usage of funds. What else are we looking at? Some of eligibility criteria and our investment period. We would, of course, since this is an equity investment, it's not a loan, and the returns are not capped like in a loan. Here, the equity investor would typically look at IRRs on return. So high scalability, possibilities of high scalability. Of course, entrepreneurial drive, strong and ethical leadership, which I guess is a no-brainer, of course. Large addressable market size, technologically driven business models, because they are the ones which those are the businesses which stay alive and prosper, going forward into the future. We are looking at revenues of around 50 crore to 500 crore range in the investee companies at the time of investment. So we are not looking at startups out of this fund. We've done startups in previous funds, but this fund is looking at slightly larger MSMEs. Investment period could be 3 to 5 years, and we would at the end of the investment period, the fund would like to exit its investment by way of preferably an IPO or sale to a strategic investor or an acquirer, or sale to some other financial investor who can, maybe if the company at that point of time needs more time to, grow and mature, we could sell our stake to other financial investors who can maybe, stay on for some more time before a strategic sale is made or an IPO happens. Some of the areas of interest of the fund, which of course we are here for the electronics and software. Just to give you a brief of what we are looking at, to software and technology. We're looking at agri-tech, we're looking at branded, consumer brands, electronics, of course, auto, ancillary, fintech, chemicals, pharma, and medical devices. And these are not just limiting sectors. These are some of the sectors that we have identified initially, but we have an open mind, and we would like to look at companies in across sectors which we feel have good growth possibilities, have good management team, and are looking at really scaling up in the export market. Of course, some sectors that we don't look at are things like construction and real estate, where we don't see a role for us. some idea of the investment process, which is pretty long as compared to a bank loan process. But this is typically what happens in equity investments, as you know. And so it typically takes about 4 to 5 months, starting with preliminary screening after receipt of, after coming some sort of broad proposal being received from the company business plan, right? Which is followed by detailed evaluation and negotiation of the terms of investment as to, what would be the amount of investment, what would be the valuation, what would be the structuring, what would be the instruments to be used, and the other terms that can be laid down in the share subscription agreement, followed by our own internal investment committee approval, where the management team of the company is invited to make a presentation. And after that is through, this is followed by third-party due diligence and documentation, which takes a long time, which actually takes the longest time out of this entire process, where the companies they would do a tax and financial due diligence and sometimes a legal due diligence on the company. And when you set right, if there are some issues that are found, then provide advice on how to set right those things before the investment is made, more towards corporate governance. That is followed by the actual investment, and then comes the nurturing period of 3 to 5 years, followed by the exit of the fund from the company. So the fund is basically looking to make capital gains out of its investment and return the money to its own contributors. So the fund is, I'll just come to how the fund is structured after this slide. You might be interested to know what sort of instruments that the fund would use to make its investment into the companies. There is no debt, no loan to be provided by the fund. Fund will not provide any loan. Fund will use instruments such as equity shares or compulsory convertible preference shares, optionally convertible preference shares, compulsory convertible debentures, or optionally convertible debentures to make its investment into the company. Basically, it will look to invest in equity or quasi-equity instruments, which can be converted into equity, later if required, to gain an equity stake in the company, which is what is, later sold by the fund to make a capital gain. Once again, no loans by the fund. Some, just to give you a brief idea of what, are the broad terms of investment, which are there in any investment made by the fund. Fund will require a board seat, maybe a nominee director or a board observer, committee of voting rights with regards to future capital raise, auditor appointments, management appointments, information rights. MIS reports are very important for us. Right of first refusal, anti-dilution, exit rights, of course, will be put out, as well as liquidation preference. So these are the broad terms that are generally there in any share subscription agreement by private equity or venture capital investors. And how we will help you, to grow is something like, basically we will try to improve the corporate governance, because we realize that MSMEs many times have, during their growth, in the past, have not been able to focus on corporate governance, and sometimes they get left behind on those counts. And that is where we come in, and that's the first thing that we would like to set right, because it will prepare them for the future. Whether it's for an IPO, whether it's for growth, whether it's for M&A, whether it's for attracting other partners, whether it's going for bigger, larger corporate customers, or maybe another financial investor in due course. So that's the first thing that is important from our side. We will also participate in strategic decision making. We will not be there in the day-to-day decision making. So it's basically at the board level. We will also help them in future fundraising, whether by way of debt or equity fundraising, or at the time of the IPO. So you already know that the sponsors of this fund are Export-Import Bank, financial institutions, national level financial institutions. Each of them has committed 40 crore to the fund. The corpus of which is 250 crore with a green shoe option of 500 crore. Other contributors, other institutions who are likely to join the Just to give you a sense of our past, SIDBI Ventures past, and we have been managing 7 funds till date, have invested in 131, made 131 venture capital investments. Some of our success stories might, I think most of your members will recognize BillDesk out here, which was one of the very early investments from our fund called National Fund for Software and IT, set up in 2000. BillDesk recently got acquired by PayU for $4.7 billion US. Of course, SIDBI Venture had exited about 10 years back, but then that has really grown into one of the largest fintech unicorns in the country. And this got acquired for $4.7 billion, total cash payout. Flash Electronics is a leading automotive electronics and electricals player based out of Pune and New Delhi. They manufacture electronics and electricals for 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, and now they've expanded into Europe as well. Centaur is, of course, a pharma company which is doing very well, and they have a very good brands such as Synarest. Manthan may again be, most of your members might recognize Manthan, which is based out of Bangalore, and it's a software retail data analytics player, the global footprint. Pragmatics was again a data analytics player which got acquired by CRISIL. It was into AI. Indus Texite is again electronics, defense electronics player, and we have actually exited that, and I believe they've recently filed their DRHP for an IPO. Anabond is a leading brand of adhesives. Tejo Engineering was the first SME to be listed on the SME on the NSE's SME exchange. And that's doing very well. You can check out the stock price if you are interested anytime. We have exited all these companies. So showing you just a brief glimpse of what we have done in the past. And as you can see, many of them are in electronics and software. In fact, our first fund was specifically for software and IT. But even from our subsequent funds, we have invested in quite a few electronics and software companies. So that's about it. And these are our and in case of emails, I can also share that you can write to us at maybe I'll share that in the chat box so that you can have access to the emails that you can see. Questions, I'm willing to take that.
Thank you, Mr. Amit Paul. With the success stories, I think most of the members would have got the right enthusiasm and would be thinking on making their own success story in times to come. I think we have some of the questions already on the chat board, though we have exceeded the time, but I think we can take some time, and if you all are fine with it, maybe we can take some of the questions there on the chat board.
Yeah, sure. Is there anything for me? Or we can go through it one by one, whatever. I'm okay.
Yeah. Saying, can we get funding for export working capital?
If you want, I can just take that. See, technically, yes. Of course, yes. Working capital for exports, but that is something we'll have to just see on a case-to-case basis. As I said, if I see, for example, whether it is EXIM or whether, say, for example, if it's a large contract and all that, we will certainly look at it. But SIDBI, you may, for example, all companies, if I'm not mistaken, would have their existing working capital banks, right? Where everyday cash in, cash out, export documentation and all is handled. Now, when it comes to EXIM, of course, it's a financial institution. So there is nothing like opening a current account or something like that with us. So we ourselves move through the various existing banking machinery which the companies have in place. But definitely working capital for exports is something we can look at, yes.
Okay, both of you raised one very important issue that the countries like we as a country not doing very good in electronics, and we still remain big time importer for the electronic goods. the seriousness can be understood by the fact that we are likely to surpass the oil import bill by 2025-26, and the likely consumption of electronic goods can exceed 400 billion, and majority of that would be imported. So, a couple of things, I'm just asking, seeing the fund character. So far, I've seen that there are some niche, some uniqueness in the companies which you have shortlisted for participation. I mean, for the funding. In electronics, there may be a very typical consumer electronic company which is making maybe white goods or something like this. So, would you be interested in investing such companies also?
Yes, from the fund, absolutely. The fund is interested in investing in consumer brands, and so that would fit in out there. As long as it's already doing some sort of export. Okay, so we are looking at companies. I mean, they could have. We are not specifying how much percentage should be in exports and how much should be in domestic, right? It could be 100% export or maybe 50-50. But they should be doing some sort of export, and they should have tested the waters. I don't want to invest in a company right now which would take it up as a startup activity for starting exports, and because frankly speaking, our time frame for exit is 3 to 5 years. We do not have that time from this fund, compared to our earlier funds where we used to invest in startups and stay invested longer. This is somewhat a shorter time frame. So definitely that is fine, absolutely fine with this.
So for the benefit of members, I would just summarize this way, that the basic criteria would be numbers of the company, and company is doing some exports, and that export or that business can be further boosted by the investment that you would provide. Am I correct in the understanding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm seeing one question from a specific member who is from the electronic industry. And or maybe if shall I ask some of the members to ask the question directly by unmuting themselves?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Is there any term loan assistance for construction in special economic zones?
Sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
He's asking, is there any term loan for construction in the SEZ?
See, now if there is a project, or let's say you're going to set up some sort of a project in the SEZ, and it is like incurring capex towards exports. Yes, of course it can be looked at. But see, while we can give broad sort of answers, see, as I said, my request to very, very specific sort of individual queries would be, I think we have shared our email IDs. Please reach out to us on a one-on-one basis, because as far as Ubharte Sitare program goes, see, this is not like, where you say, okay, this is a flat debt program, 5 years, X% interest rate, this much more. It is not like that. See, please understand the objective of the program is sort of, we want to see tomorrow's, champions, with export potential. Now it is, so fundamentally, like, as I said, if you are anyway a company which is exporting, can anyway come to us and avail options for financing any of your requirements, or if it is into exports. But under Ubharte Sitare program, we will certainly try to look for the differentiation factors, or the promoters that they bring on the table, or the business model itself. So I thought and this is not like, one size fits all. Each case we will have to see. For example, some case we can perhaps give a term loan for 5 years. In another of my case, depending on the requirement, we went even up to 8 years. So it's like, depending on a case-to-case basis, we will be sort of, structuring the funding requirements of the company. I thought I'll just make this as a more broad and umbrella sort of a comment. And otherwise, very, very specific queries, please feel free to reach out to us.
I think you're very correct. The general queries can be addressed here. And if you have very specific queries, I'm just asking for requesting members. If you have specific query related to your business, you can ping the team directly. They have shared their email ID, and in some of the messages I'm seeing, numbers have also been shared. So they can be contacted directly. If a very general question pertaining to the entire industry, if there is something, maybe we can take one question, because we have already exceeded the time. So that could be one last question if anyone wants to ask.
Yeah, basically, myself Ram Kumar Sai, and I'm an employee of a company manufacturer of the CCTV camera. and I want to know that any plan for the expand our business, the loan amount, loan for the purchase of plant and machinery. Basically, we want to expand our business and want to purchase the plant and machinery.
So may I take this if you?
Yeah,
So,
please.
So Mr. Ram, this is again a specific question. I would request you to share your details offline, because this will be a company specific assessment and company specific requirement. We can have a look on it, and then we can get you connected to our nearest branch for any assistance.
I have visited the SIDBI nearest branch in Barakhamba, but no one entertained there.
So just give me a call, sir, after this conference.
Yeah.
Let me find out what exactly is.
Okay.
All right. So I think
may I ask a question regarding collateral? And this is to both the lenders here, Exim Bank and SIDBI. I'm very concerned that MSMEs are constantly being asked for significant collateral security, and the very concept of MSMEs in India is that we start businesses by family funding and. I'm sorry.
Ruchi, your voice is not audible. Let Mr. Puri complete his question. Maybe then we can take your question. Mr. Puri, you continue.
So my concern is, and I work with a lot of MSMEs here in West Zone. I'm from Pune. I serve on the Maratha Chamber of Commerce, and our big concern is that there is a constant demand for collateral, and this collateral actually supersedes, the actual business model or the ability of the unit to actually perform. And in fact, there are situations where good, significant collateral results in funding, even though the business model is poor, rather than the other way around. So why this focus always on collateral?
Satish, you want to take that first? Then I'll address.
I'll take it. So again, sir, this assessment, this risk assessment for each case is done separately based on your balance sheet, based on your previous track record, based on the strength of the proposal, based on what you are, what is your project and how much investment do you want, and then how much tangible assets you create. So since we are dealing in public money, we need to find out exactly what are the merits in the case, and accordingly we negotiate collateral, or sometimes we don't negotiate collateral. We cover it under CGTMSE, we cover it under PRSF, we cover it under this government has recently given this ECLGS. So many schemes are there. ECLGS is a compulsory one, but this PRSF, CGTMSE, we use LIC policies, we use sometimes fixed deposits, wherein we have already indicated that there are no collaterals technically. We have used your margin itself as collateral. So case to case, sir, we need to assess. You get in touch with us. I'll give you a rough idea why collateral is required or why it may not be required.
I'll just add on top of that, Vikram.
I think
it's a very, very valid. Sorry. Can I just continue? Yeah. No, I think it's a very, very valid question, Vikramji. And I think a lot of promoters out here are, or I would say the sector in general, it's a question which bothers. I mean, of course, what is the cost of the credit and what is the security or the collateral that I have to offer? I think these are two very valid questions. But I think what Satish mentioned, I think it's all sort of structuring is a function of risk. Now, but under the Ubharte Se Tare program, I think we have, of course, taken a very conscious sort of an effort that, we would want to look at the business model of the company. We would want to look at how assuming if these are very fast growing companies, so these are not your traditional sort of companies who are going to grow 5% year on year. They're expected to be high growth companies because of their business model and orientation. And now there have been, I of course gave you all a few examples of what we have tried to finance, but there are one or two who have been very asset light sort of companies, where there is no collateral available and the bank has tried to structure. So I am afraid this is again a question which Satish exactly mentioned that, we'll have to see on a case-to-case basis. But if you're asking the questions, are the banks flexible to look at alternate options and come out with a workable solution? The answer is absolutely yes. So I am at least under the Ubharte Sitare program, we would certainly want to go out and help and support, because you are sort of taking a call on the future growth of the company. And we would definitely look at options as to how we try to see that asset coverage is not a concern. So one is, there is an idea, there is a business. Second is, as our role as a bankers, we have to make it bankable as well. So, it is that fine balance that one has to sort of try to reach. And I, again, as I said, it could be seen on a case-to-case basis, but I'll just address. I think these are very valid questions. And I think both SEBI and Exim will be very, very flexible to look at, how we can structure best if, let's say, fundamentally the company is found to be meeting the objectives of the Ubharte Sitare program. I hope that answers Vikram.
Yeah, I think it is.
I have one question, if I'm allowed to.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Samir Ahsan, and I'm from Kashmir. And since I also represent ICT Association of J&K, so my question is that is this applicable for Jammu and Kashmir also?
Yes.
So
Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India, and
that's
everything is
fine.
applicable.
That's fine,
Rather
but
you
the
are
problem
VIP.
is
Government of India is walking extra mile to support Jammu
yeah,
and
that is
Kashmir.
right.
I
That's
don't
right.
understand why you ask this
That's my question. Since
Yeah.
now things are happening, some industries, government is talking about lot, about setting up industries, but at the same time, I think these financial issues will be there. I think that's my question, that how SIDBI is going to help us. Startups, whether it is Bhartiya, this STARI program. There are different, like agriculture, ICT, manufacturing, a lot of things are happening. So that's why that was my question, because before nothing has happened. So that's the question that I wanted to ask, how we can get help from this program. I'm very thankful to ESC for organizing this.
So
And
I'll answer this. From nothing to a lot is happening in Kashmir now, especially with the new industry policy, where 400% incentive of in terms of GST based on the plant and machinery investment has been announced, which is the highest in the country. I'm very sure that with the potential that Kashmir has, should be hello. SIDBI is all set. I mean, the SIDBI Venture Fund. But if there is any specific question you want to answer, I'm just requesting Exim and SIDBI. Anything?
Samir ji, what I would suggest, I mean, you made some very, very broad sort of comments, in terms of, now whether you also made a mention something. I thought I'll just explain this just for the benefit of all the members who are listening. So whether startups can be looked at. See, please understand, every business goes through a certain cycle period, and there are different sort of funding available at each sort of a stage. Okay, now so for example, when a startup typically starts, let's say with angel funding, with seed funding, then venture debt sort of comes in. So there is a different sort of a financing option which is available at that point of time. Today, if I were to look at our portfolio, it's not like we are strictly saying that we cannot look at startups. I mean, but at the same time, the funding requirements of startups are completely different. Here, when we are saying, okay, it is something which is a proven technology or a proven product or a proven business model. It is in a very small scale sort of a situation right now, and you will want to leapfrog to the next level, and that is where we want to come. Now, whether the support is by way of debt or equity or a combination of both, it could be structured in any way. And as I said, we are three working partners here. So, if the company requires that sort of, I would say, complementary pillars of support, I'm sure we can structure something. So I think you made very broad comments, and if you have any specific queries, our email IDs are there. We'll be happy to respond.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hope that helps, Samir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I think Miss Ruchi, you wanted to ask some last question to you. Okay. I believe.
Is there any consortium allowed within the framework of these schemes?
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know who asked the question about consortium. Miss Ruchi, are you speaking? We are not able to hear you clearly, actually.
Meantime, you can answer the consortium question.
Yeah. So, for example, you know, as I said, the eligibility criteria that we look under the Ubarte Sitare program are small and medium enterprises, and some of them could be for us. EXIM, we have kept a boundary condition of 500 crores. So, some are even companies who are having turnovers of, let's say, 400 crores or 350, and some of them have a consortium, some have multiple banking arrangement. As I said, you know, I nowhere EXIM wants to sort of come and replace any of your existing banking structure. By all means, please continue. We want to come and value add on top of that. So your existing structures, I don't think are really any impediment towards that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. So I think we had the questions. Rest of the questions can be sent to ESC, and ESC will forward to SIDBI and EXIM, and you can also reach to them directly. In the meantime, I would just like to say that in electronics, we hope to have a lot of Ubarte Sitare in times to come, especially given the size of the growth that is anticipated in time to come. And the new verticals that are emerging, artificial intelligence, IoT, big data, and many other areas where the Indians can excel and reach to the world. So there would be a lot of Ubarte Sitare. I was just seeing one issue of 1,000 crores. So I think both Ms. Meghna and Mr. Amit Pal both have stressed that don't look at 1,000 crore. This can go up as long as there is appetite for the fund, appetite for the money. They are all set to open their, their cash flow for us. I look forward for continued support and many more schemes like this in times to come. With this, I would now request Mr. Veer Sagar, Vice Chairman, Electronic Software Export Promotion Council, to propose a vote of thanks. Mr. Veer Sagar, over to you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Again, ladies and gentlemen. What can one say after such a lovely, illuminating presentation, except a heartfelt thank you? But I still have to go through. I have a very pleasant task of proposing a hearty vote of thanks to our learned speakers who have done such a tremendous job of demystifying such a subject as financing. First of all, I would like to thank Mrs. Meghna Joglekar, General Manager, EXIM Bank, for taking time out to be with us today and sharing details of what all EXIM Bank has to offer. Thank you very much, Meghna. Then, sincere thanks to Amit Paul, Vice President of SIDBI Ventures, who also very vividly described details of the fund and how we benefit from it. Thanks are also due to Mr. Paul's team from SIDBI Ventures for the presentation made by them and giving us details of the funding arrangements. I am sure several members would like to avail financing support from this fund. At this stage, I must thank Mr. S.P. Singh, CEO SIDBI Venture Capital Limited, for the initiative taken by him to reach out to the exporting community. Today's session is the result of his initiative. I want to thank him in advance. It's a pity he could not be with us. I thank you very much, Mr. Singh, in absence. I would also like to thank Mr. Satish Nene, Assistant General Manager, SIDBI, for joining us in making a presentation on behalf of SIDBI. I would like to suggest that SIDBI Ventures may like to look into possibilities of expanding scope of the funds. Maybe enterprise with turnover of up to 1,000 crores may be considered eligible for support, and also for enterprises below 50 crores. I must place on record support of SIDBI Delhi Regional Office for the sponsorship support provided by them for today's event. Thank you very much, delegates who have joined this session today, and I'm hoping that you will find that beneficial. And ESC is going to keep on bringing programs like this so that our members can benefit continuously and take advantage and create a IT boom. Most important, I'd like to also thank our council, ably led by the chairman, Mr. Sandeep Narula, who has been pushing and showing exemplary drive, and Executive Director Gurmeet Singh and the Secretariat for arranging this session. I now sincerely hope that with the help of the fund, we will get many more big sitaras, not just Ubarte Sitara, but massive sitaras that emerge from this export business. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, all of
We
you.
just hope
Thank
it
you,
was
Mr. Veersagar.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was really
Thank you very
grateful.
much.
Very useful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.